Here we are, the final group stage match in Houston. I'm Jason Bristol, live outside the stadium, and welcome to Extra Time. Also on this program, a complete breakdown of what happened last night with the U.S. men's national team, the good and not so good, with HCU head coach Ryan Pratt. But first, what's at stake here tonight at Houston? Well, here's what's at stake. Tonight, it is win or go home for one of the biggest surprise stories of this tournament. Cape Verde meeting Saudi Arabia in Group H. Cape Verde needs a win to advance. Saudi Arabia, a win and some help from Spain. Speaking of Spain, also tonight, Spain, Uruguay, they are playing in Arlington. Spain controlling its own destiny. Win or draw, Spain will advance. Uruguay has to win. In reality, all four teams have a path to advance to the round of 32, and my guess is FIFA is very excited about that. Now, let's bring in Luis Ortiz. Luis, Cape Verde, really one of the darlings of this tournament, given that it held Spain scoreless in that draw. Because of the way Cape Verde played in that first match, does it have the upper hand tonight?
Look, I think the numbers say it, right? When you look at the group, this group in the standings, they have more points than Saudi Arabia does. Saudi Arabia has lost the game and tied one, so they only have 1 point, while Cape Verde has 2 points, earning 2 draws. And you talked about it. One, a scoreless one against Spain, one of the giants, one of the maybe favorites to win this World Cup, and the other one against Uruguay, who also, it's a 2-time World Cup winner, a historic, a history behind this team, right? And then Uruguay, a team that comes from South America, that goes against Brazil, that goes against Argentina, some of these top-tier teams. So Cape Verde, they're going to come out here and play a defensive game. They're going to sit back, defend, and wait for the counterattack because they have size, they have speed, and that's what they're going to want to look to do against Saudi Arabia. They definitely, for me, they have the upper hand in this game.
But let's not forget Saudi Arabia. The last World Cup, It beat Argentina. So let's not sleep on the Saudis.
Where is Messi? Where is Messi? That was the viral moment, right? After they shocked the world in that opening match against Argentina. They beat them. Argentina eventually goes on to win the whole thing. But I think this is not the year for Saudi Arabia.
All right. Now, one thing we have seen is a lot of fans, just soccer fans, wearing jerseys from the United States, Mexico, you name it, Brazil. And when we're talking crowd size, here's how the first 4 matches have looked. Each of the first 4, more than 68,000 people here at Houston Stadium. Of course, fans have to get here first. And now let's go live to Maria Aguilera to see how things are looking at her location. Maria?
Yeah, well, now it is getting busier and busier as we are 30 minutes or less than 30 minutes to kickoff. You can see people here coming off of the Metro Rail. They have been coming in every 6 minutes or so. And like you mentioned, people with jerseys from all over the world because of the World Cup. They're all representing their countries as well as Cape Verde and Saudi Arabia. See, look, you hear some of those chants right now. People are really excited. And now those Metro Rails are actually even more jam-packed than they were before. Of course, we're going to continue to monitor here how smooth it is to get inside and get out even after the game. Now, according to the Houston Host Committee 2026 for the World Cup, they tell us that more than 246,000 people have used the Metro Rail for the first 4 matches. Of course, today is match 5. Lots of excitement, and it has been building and building throughout the day. People were here even hours before gates open. So, of course, people cannot wait for kickoff. And again, we're going to stay right here and bring everybody the very latest at 10 o'clock. For now, live outside of Houston Stadium, known to us as NRG, Maria Aguilera, KHOU 11 News.
Thank you, Maria, for that update. And now it's time for the kickoff. From earlier today, we're talking all about last night's USA-Turkey match, a 3-2 loss for the Americans. And now it's another returning starter, Ryan Pratt, head men's soccer coach at Houston Christian University, HCU. Thanks for coming in again.
Yeah, thanks for having me back.
All right, so when we look at this game from last night, what was your big takeaway, your first takeaway from the loss against Turkey?
First of all, Jason, if anybody would have told you that we'd be top of the group heading into the last game of the group with first place already secured, we'd have taken it 100%, hands down, no questions asked. nothing to worry about, no takeaways, all's good in the U.S. camp.
Is this the kind of loss that concerns you, or can it actually help before a knockout stage?
Again, no concern whatsoever. We got to rest Pulisic. We rested several of our guys that needed some rest. We got all of our guys on yellow cards that were in concern. They didn't play a minute. You can definitely see some things that the U.S. could maybe secure or could shore up a little bit from a defensive perspective. But all in all, did a good job wrapping up the group.
So it's all good.
All good.
And here is our toy stadium again for that winning goal for Turkey. This does not look good. Is this something that Mauricio Pochettino will look at? And obviously guys are not where they should be. How much of a concern is this?
Well, this is a huge concern, Jason, but prior to the last segment leading to a goal, there's always a first piece that led to the goal. And so let's take a look at that, if you will.
So here it is. Here's where the throw-in was going to happen. And you're saying that this is where a lot of the problems started?
This is where a lot of the problems started. And here's what happened. You have our friend here from Turkey who has the ball in his hand. He steps on the field. This guy comes off to take the quick throw-in. But look at our friend over here, Mr. Pulisic. He's not even paying attention whatsoever. So this quick throw-in takes place. Then he has to react. He comes and gets to the ball, tries to defend, maybe loses discipline defending a little bit, opens his legs, balls go through the legs. That leads to the service, which then led to the goal.
So is this a set piece? Is this something teams do deliberately?
It is, but if you're engaged in the process from a defensive perspective, Jason, this is 20 seconds left in the game. 20 seconds. You can't afford to take this kind of time out or time off in any certain circumstance whatsoever. So this will be something that maybe he can get into the guys a little bit, maybe dig into them about how important it is to be engaged in all facets from all moments of the game.
And think of the situation.
Absolutely.
That may be fine with 10 minutes or 15 or 20 minutes, but not with the amount of time left on the clock?
No, none whatsoever.
And as a result, here was the celebration as Turkey nets that winning goal on the final shot of the game. And now moving forward, Ryan, if you are game planning for the U.S., how would you target this group?
Well, I think, Jason, and how we build, and over the first two games, you've seen our structure in possession, where we've got three guys basically back here with Tim Ream, Chris Richards, and Malik Freeman. We've got five guys high, if you will, like this, and then you've got our base of two underneath with McKinney and Adams for the most part. You've got guys dropping down to form a box in here and what have you, but really if I'm looking to game plan against us and how they can maybe find a weakness for us, I think for me it would be can they access and attack Tim Ream's side in a transitional moment. You've got a guy in Tim Ream who's very experienced. With experience, sometimes that means maybe a little bit older. But I think from an athletic ability perspective, you look at Malik Freeman and Chris Richards, not going to get surprised from an athletic perspective. Tim Ream might be that area that they think they could maybe
expose,
find.
Perhaps.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. On the big board, thumbs up or thumbs down. First one for you, Ryan. Thumbs up or thumbs down on this expanded World Cup field. How has it felt to you?
I tell you what, I'm a big thumbs upper here. You think about Cape Verde, their game against Saudi Arabia. If they get a result, whether it be a tie or even a win, could go into second place in their group. Who would have ever thought that that kind of country to be in the World Cup and then have a chance to be in one of the top two or even get that eighth or third place seed, if you will.
And now, thumbs up or thumbs down on your player to watch the last time. That was a guy named Chris Richards, who you used to coach. So thumbs up or thumbs down on his play thus far.
If he's watching, I hope he understands that I would give this a few circles for him. I told you leading into the Cup that we needed him to be available. You could see how important he is to our defensive structure, but also I think he was the only player since like 1966 to have 100% completion of passing percentage after that first game against Paraguay, and so he was fantastic and has been fantastic in the previous two games.
Up next, thumbs up or thumbs down? Have we already seen enough surprises to know that this World Cup is wide open?
Absolutely. I just mentioned Cape Verde, surprise with a cup for me. Can't wait to see how they kind of do tonight, and hopefully they can find a way to squeeze in there. But I am a big fan of the World Cup and the expansion of it. I think it's great for smaller countries to have an opportunity to get in and showcase what they may have.
Yeah, but will they actually challenge to get into deeper into this tournament?
I don't know. They drew with Spain, one of the heavy favorites of the World Cup already on opening night, so who knows what happens. And when you get in the knockout stages, all you need is one moment, right? And so you play for a draw, you can get into, and through extra time you get into penalties, and who knows at that point, and can they upset somebody in that kind of fashion? Who knows? But that's what the World Cup is all about.
And given how Mexico has performed, thumbs up or thumbs down on whether that squad is a team or a force to be reckoned with?
It breaks my USA heart to circle thumbs up, but I'm going to give them a thumbs up anyway. Mexico in Mexico is almost, it was very difficult to beat. You saw in the last 3 games, they've just put the pedal to the metal in all 3 games and all 3 opponents. If they're in Mexico like they are in round of 32, I expect them to advance out of there. And then I think some models have been playing England in the round of 16, so, who knows? Who knows?
But. And now the U.S. reaching the quarterfinals. Thumbs up or thumbs down?
USA all the way, baby. I'm voting with my heart here. John Denver, take me home, country roads. Get me to the quarterfinals. Let's go USA.
And then 21 goals through the first group of matches in Houston. It's the most of any World Cup stadium. Is that exactly what the fans want to see? Thumbs up or thumbs down?
Absolutely what the fans want to see. They want to see goals, 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 goals. They got them in Houston. They also got to see Ronaldo score some of those goals, which makes him the first player ever in World Cup history to score in 6 straight World Cups.
Which is incredible. And now, finally, this one. Thumbs up or thumbs down, a non-traditional power will make the semifinals.
I'm going to go thumbs down here.
All right, because this one was lonely over here. This one kept saying, you keep going to my friend here.
I'm trying to be positive, but I'm going to throw it back here and keep everybody, back in their seats a little bit. I don't know that teams like Spain and Germany and France and the Netherlands are going to find a way to get upset England if you throw in that mix as well. They have all had maybe a little blip in the group stage. But that's what the group stage is all about. You only have to win and top your group to get to the round of 32, and that's what they've done.
And being it's World Cup season, yes, you love watching on the couch, but you have work to do with these summer camps. What do you have coming up at HCU?
Youth camps, ages 6 to 13, co-ed, both boys and girls, July 6 through 10, July 20 through 24, all on our campus at HCU. Just email me if you will. We'll get you the information out to you and hope to have you on campus.
Oh, that is so good. So good to have Ryan Pratt here from HCU back on Extra Time. Thanks for hanging out with us one more time.
Absolutely.
And ahead on the show, the joy from Cape Verde, a super fan who says seeing her family homeland on the big stage already feels like a championship. Houston has proved to be a great host at this World Cup, and we're not done. After this, round of 32, then round of 16. Here's what's ahead with Zach Tawatari back at the studio.
Houston, get excited because these 2 major teams are coming to a bayou near you. We know for sure that this Monday, June 29th, Brazil, the 5-time World Cup champions, are taking on Japan. Brazil is coming in hot. 6 goals scored in their last 2 matches, but don't sleep on Japan. They've scored 5 goals in their last 2 matches. Kickoff is set for noon on Monday. And all eyes are on the 4th of July, not just for the grilled meat and fireworks. This Sunday, the winner of these 2 matches, Canada and South Africa, played in California, and the Netherlands and Morocco played in Mexico. Whoever wins these matches will be in Houston on Independence Day. If you recall, the Netherlands already played here previously. Everyone else, it will be their first trip to H-Town. Jason and Luis, let's send things back over to you guys.
Thanks so much. Listen, you're talking Brazil and Japan as we're back with Luis Ortiz.
Yep.
Is this a contrast in styles in which we'll see on Monday?
Oh, yeah, definitely. You're going to get 2 different teams on the field. You're talking about Brazil, a team that's going to come with more individual talent, if you will, guys that can be the X factor, be the difference maker by themselves, while Japan, is a team that's shown a lot of discipline, the team that plays a collective style of play, right? So they're going to be more focused. I mean, look, when they faced Netherlands, Virgil van Dijk, their top defender, said, when you play Japan, it feels like you're playing one idea that's been divided along 11 different players. It's just 11 guys on the same page. Brazil is joga bonito. They like the flair. They like this, be stylish on the field. So that's what you're going to see between these two teams.
Will Brazil be disciplined enough to handle that because they have these phenomenal athletes, these horses?
Right.
Will they be disciplined enough and not get frustrated?
I think so. I think Brazil, from the start of this World Cup, has come from less to more. They're growing each game. And they know what they have. Now, Brazil, 5-time World Cup winner, the team that's won of the most in history. Every time that they don't make a deep run, it's a disappointment. It's expected for Brazil to reach the final. So Brazil has a lot of pressure on them. They have to be disciplined.
And I would imagine this will be one of the hot tickets. The Netherlands and Sweden was a hot ticket when it was here. My guess is this is going to eclipse that.
Definitely. Yeah, this is the hottest ticket, the most marquee matchup that we'll get in Houston so far. And by the way, there's a cultural tie in this game. Where do you think, outside of Japan, the most Japanese population lives in the world? Brazil. Right, centered around Sao Paulo. That's where the most Japanese people live outside of Japan.
So if you had to pick one team to win right now, who would you pick?
Man, that's a tough one. I think either one of them can take it. Japan, their coach just said, look, we're not here to collect jerseys. We're not here to just say hi and take pictures with some of the greatest in the world. They want to compete. So it's going to, look, I think for me, I'll go with Brazil because of this fun fact. They have never in a World Cup lost to a team from the AFC, which is the Asian Football Confederation.
All right. Luis Ortiz, we'll talk to you in a minute, but first let's go back to Cape Verde, Cabo Verde. Hundreds of fans about 2 hours ago outside the stadium warming up for this match. Cape Verde, of course, is that small African nation consisting of 10 islands off the West African coast, and it's been winning over fans over the two exciting matches we've seen from Cape Verde, and now Orko Manna is catching up with one local fan and what all of this means to her.
Pouring beans into a pot and chopping onions are just a couple of the steps Kari Allen takes to make jagasita, a traditional Cape Verdean dish.
We've kept recipes in our family since our family came here in 1904.
She's a third-generation Cape Verdean American living in Houston, but she's extremely connected to her roots and culture and has also been following the national football team for years.
We took Africa by a storm, and now we're taking the world by a storm.
Cape Verde competing in its first ever World Cup this year. It's a dream come true for Allen and her community.
This is a nation that has been waiting for a moment to be in the spotlight like this for a very long time. Our people are very, very resilient and very prideful of being Cape Verdean. We have a large community up north, and so for me personally, it just feels like finally I get to see my flag on the world stage.
That flag proudly displayed on Allen's wall, pinned to her shoes, and painted on the back of her car. The words "New Bye" next to it, translating to "Let's go."
For us coming into the World Cup, everybody counted us out. Immediately, they're like, no, small country, you're not gonna do well.
But Cape Verde has been doing well, more so than many expected. With draws against Spain and Uruguay, there's a lot to celebrate.
I sat there at Torchy's screaming with my little flag, yes, here we go, here we go.
Next stop, Houston Stadium, as Cape Verde takes on Saudi Arabia Friday. And Allen will be there too, along with some of her cousins.
How exciting is that to be able to not just go to a World Cup match, but to see your country play?
This is really exciting for me as a Cape Verdean who grew up in the South. There's not a lot of us out here. So for the first time, I'll be able to see other people who look like me and speak like me in person in front of a lot of people in the town I live in.
She's bringing these protection beads with her for good luck, but no matter the outcome, Allen says they've already won.
We're just very proud to be seen, be heard, to be African, and just to be on the world stage.
Reporting in Houston, Orko Manna, KHOU 11 News.
And now, 3 goals for this man today. It's another reminder that France is still one of the teams to beat. That's ahead. Happening today, a hat trick for one of the world's best. Ousmane Dembélé scoring 3 goals as France beats Norway 4-1. Dembélé, we were told, player to watch, according to Texas Southern coach Denisha Adams here on Extra Time. France wins the group, Norway moving on to the knockout round as well. Also, tonight it's Egypt taking on Iran. Egypt with a win or draw will move on to the knockout stage, and that is good news for its star player. With more insight on him, here's Alicia Lewis.
Mohamed Salah is a player to watch. The 33-year-old Egyptian plays for Liverpool FC and will represent his homeland. Coming into the tournament, he has 67 international goals. Outside matches, he says he's addicted to playing chess, but he spends most of his time helping other people. In the small Egyptian village he grew up in, Salah has funded a school, ambulance station, sewage treatment plant, and a hospital. And listen to this. When his father's home was robbed, instead of pressing charges, he gave the thief money to start a better life and even helped him find a job.
That is very admirable, to say the least. Extra Time returns in a moment. Extra Time, final thoughts. Jason Bristol, Luis Ortiz. Luis, when we're looking at the crowd heading into this game, we saw just soccer jerseys from all the different teams, and this match may be more of a celebration of soccer than any of the others we've seen thus far.
Look, I think our photographer Sergio was making a very, very good point. This is a Friday night game, so this is also the first opportunity for Houstonians to actually make it out to the game, because all the other ones were at kickoff at noon, right? Very difficult in the middle of the week when people have to work. Now, you see, like you said, soccer celebration. Whether you're Mexican, Brazilian, American, wherever you're from, and you know that Houston is the most diverse city in the nation, people are going to come out and enjoy football.
And also this match was also the most affordable of all of them. So that is, again, perhaps a reason why this will be a celebration of soccer in Houston. That's going to do it for Extra Time for Luis Ortiz. Many thanks to Ryan Pratt for coming by again. And now it is a live look at the FIFA Fan Festival as we are wrapping up the group stage in Houston and now heading to the knockout round. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you Monday.